Okay, so it's like super duper bright out here, and I am out foraging before we do this whole cleanup thing of the garden and the fields and everything for the year. But today we're going to look at some yarrow, and this here is yarrow. This is like a fern-like plant. It does get taller with white flowers on it. I don't see any of that with the flowers on it. This is like a young plant. Multiple plants, I guess, if you see here. But this is good for things like treating bleeding and wounds. Like, so if you got a bloody nose or any kind of big wound, they said they used it back in the day for soldiers. When they would get a wound, they would stuff the yarrow and help treat the wound and the bleeding. It's also good for fatty liver, which is good because I'm going to make a tea with it and drink that because I do have a fatty liver. Non-alcohol related fatty liver is what it helps with, so that's what I'm going for. Anyhow, you see the ferny type stuff on it. It's different than ragweed. They say they look alike. I honestly don't see it. But I'm going to snip some of this here off. This is a bit of a bigger one plant, but you know, I'm going to get ready to clean this up, so I don't want to ruin it. If I had the flower on it too, I would save that. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it all because this is going to get worked in for the garden. Therefore, I don't want it here next year. And I've got plenty of it growing wildly. So, with that, I'll just leave it to dry. And then I'll put it in an airtight container and store it. But, like I said, I want to make tea. And we can make a tincture with it. You could put it into like a salve. But we'll talk about all that there later. But anyhow, for now, I'm just foraging some yarrow. Let me see if I can't find any big ones with flowers, though. So I'm out here wandering around in the field now. I left the garden spot. And as you can see, I've got all sorts of phases of yarrow growing. Just none of it in the flowered stage. I can't find none. I'm not going to pick any of this. I'm just going to leave it be completely alone until next year. And maybe next year I'll be able to take some with some flowers and stuff. But I ain't found none with flowers up here yet this year. Okay, y'all ain't gonna believe this. All that walking around and checking in the fields and everywhere, I come to pick a watermelon. And looky here. Yarrow with the flower. So exciting. They come in different colors, but the wild is usually the white. And as you can see, petals have all went and fall off of it almost. But this is, I mean, this is a watermelon. Hold on. Oh, goodness sakes. But right here, it comes plumb down into here, stem-wise. You can still see it's the ferny look to it. They go directly across from each other almost. But yeah, so anyhow, this is yarrow with the flower. I'm just going to break it off here, even though technically I should pull it because it's in the garden spot. But, you know, whatever. So that's why I pulled the other. But I got one with the flower, so that I will also be saving and using. So next step is just take all my findings in the house and get to putting them up to be dried. And then start making some remedies and tinctures and stuff with it. But yay, found one with flower top. Okay, so yesterday we did some yarrow, and I've had this here yarrow in the house, and it's been up to dry. And I've got a jar of yarrow here that is dry. I just reused, you know, like your pickle jars and your whatever else jars you get. And I just keep storing in there. Like everything's got a label and a place and all that good stuff. But then I've also got yarrow up here in the window. Okay, whoop. Right there is the yarrow that we picked yesterday, and I've got it hanging in the window here to dry with my beans and my goldenrod. But that's the but that's just me getting the yarrow ready to dry, and then from there we're probably going to do another class like we done with the mullein.